All right, that's the CZ. It's P-10. Correct, yeah. CZ P-10C is what you asked me to review. We've put out a handful of videos on Glocks, MMPs, SIG 320s. We've even done a comparison video on the three. And probably the most consistent comment that we've gotten on that is the CZ P-10C is the one that crushes all of them. That, Walther PPQ, and then the VP9. Probably the most consistent one is the P-10C. So we'll get to this in a second, just so you know, so you don't have to keep commenting it. VP9, PPQ, I'm working on it, okay? We'll get there. It might take 6 months, and I know those are not new guns, and I'm super late to that party. We will get there, okay? This is the CZ P-10F full size. I know the C is what you wanted, so let me just go ahead and clarify why I'm stuck comparing this one to the Glocks, MMP, SIG 320s and everything. I went to buy a P-10C, and please understand, because there's going to be a couple of dings that this gun's going to have to take in this review, and I know that's already going to upset some of you. So if you're already upset and you're mad, and I'm going to that YouTube comment, you just go to the next video, okay? Or you could go leave negative comments. The reason I don't have the C, there was one C in the shop, and I was like, perfect, I'll take it. Had a threaded barrel, which I was like, I don't really care about that. But the reason I didn't buy it is because the mags wouldn't freely drop. I was like, sweet, I'll take it. And I pushed the mag release, and instead of that happening, the mag was just like there. And I was like, and I mean, I would shake it and the mag wouldn't come out. And the only way I could get the mag out was to strip it. So I'm not really trying to start this on a negative note for CZ. I'm telling you because this was not my first choice. My first choice was a C. It was an option, but I would have had to have come out here and all day been stripping mags, and that would have led to an even more negative review, right? So I'm just letting you know, if you're mad at me already, don't be mad at me, be mad at the mags that wouldn't drop, okay? Supposedly, this is like the Glock killer. This is the thing that wins. So look, everyone, I'm sorry. I know we're right in the middle of a good part of the video, and then why am I talking to you now? Look, I'm sorry. We're going to be back in the video in just 1 second. Real quick, here's how you can support the channel for those of you who ask. 1911 Syndicate is a real estate company. No, we're not buying ranges and wild shit, even though we can. It's mostly like buy, sell house, regular kind of stuff. We operate in a lot of different areas, Utah, Texas, Florida, California, different areas that are opening up as we go here. So if you need anything, that's how you support us. Just send us a message. We'll have contact info and things below. Back to the video. Enjoy the show. All right, so let's take a look at this bad boy. Where shall we start? Why not? Let's start grip. So the grip is not bad. It is toasty today, quite toasty today, not to mention I'm standing in a fucking canyon, so that probably doesn't help anything in terms of drawing heat all onto this. But the grip is not bad, and today's a good test of that because I've been fairly sweaty. I'm not really a sweaty man, just in terms of like kind of where you know that I rank on the sweat scale. I'm not a sweaty guy. Like I can work out and not sweat. I can work out pretty hard and not really sweat that much. Okay, TMI, doesn't matter. Grip's not bad, but I'm not a super heavy sweater. So grip, I'm cool with. The P10 does come with some different back straps, so you can swap that out. I rarely do that just because honestly, I usually grab guns and I'm like, you know, at the very least, it's close enough that this is, you know, like it doesn't bother me. There's also some texture, which is a nice little feature up by where your thumbs would go. I'm a lefty, so this is a wrong grip for me, but you know, there is some nice little texture there. It's not a ledge where like you're gonna be able to really push down and get some leverage on it, but it's texture just to have a reference point and at least a little bit of traction so that your thumb's hopefully not, you know, flying off under recoil there. So one thing, let's go ahead and talk about this. We're gonna bounce all around as is typical. So MSRP 563. I think that's a really good price on this gun. I'll tell you straight up. I think it's a good value at 563. I was out the door like 530, okay, including tax. Didn't have to pay a background check just because of my CCW, so you don't have to pay a background check. And TMI, what I'm telling you is it's pretty damn economical, I think, when you factor in what you're getting. Some of the other stuff that you're getting, So first of all, this is the same size as a Glock, close to the same size as a Glock 17. 4.5-inch barrel, which is, again, going to be a Glock 17 versus a 4-inch barrel on a Glock 19. So yes, of course, it's bigger than a 19. We've already clarified why I have this instead of a 19. I don't know the actual grip length versus a 17. I would imagine that this is a little bit longer, okay? So you'll see that that grip will hang off on the bottom there. So I've got like a long, skinny, lanky hand, kind of like me in general. So if you had a real, I mean, you'd have to have a fat ass hand to fill up the grip on that gun. No joke. Like you got a lot of grip. It doesn't bother me. Okay. Like it's not a grip that I dislike. It's actually pretty solid. And I actually quite like the ergonomics of it, but, the grip is long, but the pro of that is you got 19+1. You heard it right. So Glock 17, obviously you're gonna have 17+1. So 19+1, you got super legit capacity on these CZs. And I don't typically care one way or another, but you do have metal mags. So there's that over, Glock mag. What else would be like, shit, I guess there are a lot of companies with metal mags now, MPs and SIGs and stuff like that. So, metal mag, take that for what it's worth. I don't know how much extra mags are. The gun came with 2, but 19+1, look, that's really not a CCW gun. I mean, you could, like if you're really pushing it or you're just huge, but to me, that's more of a duty gun or range gun, bedside gun, things like that. Let's see, what else do we have here? The sights, I like them, I have to admit. So they're 3-dot tritium, which I know is gonna get mixed reviews depending on who you talk to. So our front sight post there, we've basically just got a white circle around what is a tritium dot. In the rear, we've got 2 tritium dots. We've got they're not tall sights, they're fairly low profile, not even fairly, like they're definitely low profile sights. You do have a ledge there, so you could rack that off of something. I don't have a particularly rigid belt on, but again, you can, well, this is all just fucking great demo, dude. You get the point. You could rack this off of great demos, right? Everyone, you're like, this idiot. They're low profile. They're not the best at catching onto something. Again, pretty low likelihood you're in a gunfight and one arms went down, mag change, like, that would have been off my abs. But you guys get the point. Pretty low likelihood you're gonna need that, but I wouldn't mind having slightly taller sights. Not a big deal to me. Generally speaking, I like the sights. You got front and rear serrations. They are fine. They're nice and grippy. So I can do press checks, all that good stuff. Let's see, mag release. It is it's ambidextrous because it can be swapped, right? Right now, I just have it set up on this side of the gun. It is fortunately stiff enough. It has not given me any issues. My grip placement frequently is right there, and sometimes that pressure can drop mags under recoil for me. That has not happened with this, which is nice. If you so desire, you can flip that to the other side if that makes your life a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and address this because this is probably going to be my biggest. It's probably going to be my biggest ding. Okay. So the slide stop, slide release, slide catch, call it whatever the fuck you want. That's up to you. Okay. I'm going to call it the slide release. So it is ambidextrous full time, AKA it releases on this side and it releases on this side. Very strange. This gun at the start of the day was, you'd go to slide lock, you'd throw a new mag. I've gotten a variety of scenarios today. I would say 20% of the time today on that loaded mag going in, slide just drops. I'm not touching anything. If it looks like I'm just dropping my slide super ninja and quick, I wish I was, I'm not. That's just the slide going on its own. I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen or not. It doesn't really bother me. It's not one of those things I really care about when it happens. Sometimes it makes my life easier, but just know about 20% of my reloads today, slides dropping, okay? I would say about, very scientific numbers, about 60%, so now we're at a total of 80, So about 60% of my reloads today have gone just like normal, which is mag goes in and I am dropping the slide with my right thumb. If I don't typically have this as a lefty, I just reach up with my trigger finger and drop it here. Is it the fastest thing in the world? No, it is still efficient for me and it's fine. But about 80 or 60% of the time, nothing weird. It's just, slides dropped as normal. About 20% of the time, and it all came in this back-to-back period that was very confusing, and we'll show some of the footage of it here as I'm talking about it, is it's a little bit of a problem, everyone. I'd go to slide lock, mag would go in, I would try to drop the slide, and I mean, this thing would not drop. To the point where I'm like, God damn, go. I guess I'm just weak. And I mean, it's like, okay, don't worry about trying to do this for camera. Like, just try to drop the slide. And I mean, I'm like shaking, the thing won't drop. So I go, okay, let's try this side. Thing won't drop. I mean, literally 2-hand pressure on this thing trying to drop it and it wouldn't drop. And then I would go and I would just power stroke the gun and the thing would go into battery fine. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It is, if I'm being honest, a bit of a problem for me because it's like, shit. Could there be explanations like maybe it's just under some break-in period? I mean, this gun's got a few hundred rounds through it, nothing crazy. I'm not doing Grand Thumb 13,000 rounds to review a gun, like a few hundred rounds, couple range days, and like I've kind of got my opinion. So I don't know if it's still breaking in, what the case may be. It's a bit concerning because you're like, man, I mean, what if I'm shooting for real and I need to reload my gun and it's like I'm wigging out trying to drop it? Obviously, sure, you can just power stroke the gun, but, I didn't know what to do with that. And it happened probably 4, 5, 6 times back to back, all on camera. So you guys can see I'm not gaming it. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what this is. This is very odd. So take that for what it is. It's probably my biggest ding that I've got coming on this gun. So with that said, we'll go all that Gucci stuff. Let's talk about the trigger. The trigger is, and I think that's one of the things that people have, in terms of their argument of like, oh, it crushes Glocks, is the trigger. And so I agree with you. I agree with you, okay? And I know that for some reason people think I'm a Glock fanboy. I don't know why that is. I will tell you all day long that Glocks set the gold standard for what polymer guns are. Are they necessarily even the nicest things? Maybe, maybe not. We can have that debate. But the gold standard is, I mean, like, come on. You'd be hard-pressed to debate me on that. In terms of the trigger, I will 100% concede to you that the trigger on the P-10 is significantly better. Reset is money. The trigger pull itself, you've got a shit ton of take up, but it's very smooth. It's not gritty. It's not like a Glock where it's just like this swamp and I'm trying to get through the swamp and eventually I'll get there, but it's taking a while. It's a lot of take up, but it's very, very smooth. And then there's a wall and then it's a really nice break. And the reset is, I'm not going to debate you on it. Trigger's money. It's again, I don't shoot a lot of polymer pistols compared to what I used to because I'm mostly shooting 1911s, 2011, stuff like that. But we were taking this out to about 60 was the farthest I was pushing this. And I mean, honestly, as long as you're a decent shooter, the gun is very capable at distance. The trigger is very easy to work fast. Again, I am neither super accurate at distance, nor am I don't consider myself a fast shooter. I'd say I'm competent shooter, but I'm certainly not fast. And you can definitely run that gun pretty damn fast. Takes down just like a Glock. So, I mean, you've got 2 little takedown levers there. Same thing, check, make sure your gun's clear, pull the trigger, pull back, slide a little bit, takedown pins, slide comes forward. So, very simple takedown. I would debate probably even smoother than a Glock takedown, even though it's the exact same mechanism. Not that I have an issue with that. Frankly, let's streamline some pistols. Why don't we just come to an agreement? Can we just all take our shit down the same way? No problem with me on that. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tour. We'll hit some other stuff here, but that's, that's kind of your nuts and bolts there. Okay, so I think to have a fair assessment of the P-10, I think it's only fair to compare it to its competition. Calm down. Yeah, it's Glock 19. I understand that's like a 17. That's a 19. I get it. Okay, but I don't own a 17. Okay, I own a 19. That's what I have access to. So that's what we're going to talk about. a lot of the fundamentals we can still apply here. Let's start with this. Grip angle and ergonomics. This will be a little tough to see. You will probably be able to roughly see that. So the grip on the Glock is going to be a little bit more pronounced in its angle, and the CZ grip angle is going to be a little bit more shallow, you know, closer to a 1911 grip angle. It's not like a 1911 grip angle, but closer. When you look at the fact that, okay, the CZ grip angle is better, but it's not like dramatic. So why does it feel so much better in my hand? And the reason for that is that deep beaver tail there. It enables you to get a very, very high purchase and deep purchase on the P-10. It's nice, okay? It's nice. I am a fan of it versus Glock, where it's like, hey, you got a shitty trigger or grip angle, but you just don't get very far into that, right? Yes, you can train your way through that, but hey, wouldn't it be better just to have a nicer grip angle? The answer would be yes. So that's a little on ergonomics. So one other thing that was a hallmark of this gun is that it's supposed to fit, at the very least, some, but I think when it first came out, it was basically supposed to fit most Glock holsters. And that, of course, is a selling point, because any Glock fanboy, you know, got all your mags, holsters, all that good stuff. And it would be nice if these fit it. One, just so you have a sense for it, in terms of the magazines, they will go in a Glock magazine pouch, but they're gonna fly out as they have on me as you run. So I've got two Glock holsters here. Fit. Nada, right? So that's, and mind you, I was forcing that in to get to that point, like 0 for 1. Number two, sort of a pancake outside the waistband thing. So that's as far as it's getting. Trigger guard's exposed a little, not enough you could get a finger on a trigger, but again, one, the gun's out of battery. Like the gun is out of battery as soon as it goes into that holster. So on the does it fit a Glock holster thing, not so much. Trigger we've talked about, significantly better on the CZ, so I will 100% concede that all day. Okay, so let's hit a little bit of final thoughts on this. One thing, and I'm going to maybe say this a couple times today as we're filming, I really appreciate what Grand Thumb does when he basically does his in full disclosure thing, like here's how I got the gun, or if I'm not being paid, whatever his relationship is. I really like that because I think it's a fair thing to do to people if you're making a recommendation if a gun's good or bad. So just so you guys know, I paid retail sticker price for that gun. There's no favors done on that. Just so you're on the same wavelength with me. Let's talk about one thing we really haven't talked about yet, which is the low bore access thing. So low bore access is that, which compared to a Glock, which I wouldn't say has a high bore access, but I mean, you will notice that your hand is going to ride definitely a bit higher on that PZ in relation to the slide as compared to a Glock. And there's guns that I've shot that have the low bore access thing going, and I was like, it feels a little hypey to me. Like, it doesn't recoil hard, but it doesn't recoil low compared to what I would think it would. This gun has a very nice recoil impulse. It feels very smooth as it's going off. I like it. Is it the most flat gun I've ever shot? No, but it's very nice. And again, keep in mind, you're talking about a gun that's like $500 out the door, okay? So really take that in comparison, because if I'm comparing it to a $3,000 Staccato or whatever, it's like, hey, yeah, you know, like a little bit of a different price bracket here. So I like the low bore access thing. Frankly, I like a lot of it. I think one of the real highlights of the gun is the trigger, and CZ does say that the trigger gets better as you get through the break-in period. I don't know what that period is. Maybe I'm already through it or not. I don't know. But most triggers are going to get a little bit better with some wear. This trigger is already good, and it'd be really killer if it kept getting better. I like the value. I like a lot about it. The two things that for me really were tough. You know, again, not on my gun, but on the P-10C that I was originally going to buy. I mean, the mags just would not freely drop, you know, and it's like, is this like a hallmark of this gun, or does it just happen to be this one? It's brand new. Why is it doing this? You know, it does raise some questions. For me on this particular gun, the really only hang up for me, which is just a bummer, is that the slide release issue where, I mean, the thing just like wouldn't drop without just legit stroking the gun and sending the thing home. So that's a bummer. So set that aside for a second. Let's just say that either that was some sort of break-in fluke or something weird that was going on and it's nothing to worry about and it's done, it's gotten it out of its system. I'm a fan of the gun. I am. Like, it has those couple issues that we've already talked with the P-10C mag not dropping, and then this one with the slide release. Despite all that, I like it. In terms of who the gun is for, it's kind of for people who I think are trying to be a little bit different. It's not that I dislike the gun, like I hopefully made clear. I'm not shitting on the gun today. I like it. I think it has a place for a lot of people, especially professionals who have more of an open carry, duty gun, things like that. Slash people who are just like if you've ever been in the conversation of like, you can't control me, dad, like, and that's how you feel about Glocks, because like everyone tells you like, go get a Glock, you can't control me, and like, the CZ P-10 might be for you. Like, if you're looking for that little bit of rebellion where like, I want the strike, I want all the stuff that Glock has, I just don't want a Glock. This might have your name on it, okay? Might have your name on it. Cool thing, it might have your name on it for like $500, which is a damn good deal, you know? So, I don't know, you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm not in charge of you. I don't want to be your father. I don't want to be anyone's father, right? So, do whatever the hell you want. Kids, stay safe. Don't start forest fires. Later.